Welcome back to the channel. OOTD. I never dress up, I never wear fancy stuff, so this is me on a normal day. Like simple t-shirt, long sleeve, hide from the sun, all that stuff. You may ask, why are you hiding from the sun, Miss Chocolate? Well, no matter the shade of your skin, the color of your skin, you still gotta protect from the sun. So I also have a hat to go with it. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. Speaking of like color of your skin and stuff, it's kind of funny. So today, I do this short term like program with this university where they have like exchange students from other countries who come here for a month and they do whatever. So the part that I do is like the cultural aspect, and it's like in English, right? So like the students, like they do this class, the cultural aspect, plus they learn French because when in France, and then they learn like whatever material related to their degree. Yeah. So since it's like a culture related program, we look at countries and different things, yada yada yada. The final project is to create your own country, like a fictional country. Oh my gosh, my favorite group from today was hopefully they don't mind me saying like the name of their fictional country, but anyways, since they're in France, of course their fictional country is called Patisserie Kingdom, which is basically pastry kingdom. And the people, the citizens, are bread. They're bread people. I love it. It's so fun. Like they put so much creativity into it, like incorporated some little aspects of like France. So, you know, pastry. France is known for pastry and all that. And then the thing that I loved, like one of the things, because it was amazing, one of the things that I loved was the fact that the bread with the darker bread, so the bread that has chocolate and different toppings like that, it's the most, what they say, it's the most like respectable people. So the most respectable people, they want to have a little bit of chocolate, which is the bread, because the citizens are bread, so they want to have a little bit of chocolate. So whether it is chocolate covered or whatever, and I was just there laughing. It was so good. It was so good. And I was just there like, yes, we need this, because like in a world where people of a darker tone usually are not treated well, are not treated fairly, etc., racism, etc. I love the fact that in their bread kingdom, patisserie kingdom, the ones with the chocolates, they hold like a higher status in the country. It was so fun. Anyways, that being said, it brings me to something that I always see. Okay, yeah. People of a darker shade, a darker tone, a darker hue, whatever you want to call it, a darker color, usually are looked down on, and in some places treated unfairly, stereotyped. Well, a lot of different cultures get stereotyped, etc. But something that I don't like that I see is like when I see on social media or like YouTube or whatever, where you have people who make videos like, oh, don't visit this country because they're like racist or whatever. Okay, I get it. Like you want to make people of the same skin tone aware which countries are safe. Okay, in that regard, I'm kind of more pessimistic when I come to things. Like I usually assume worst case when it comes to these type of things, like race, whatever. I usually assume worst case until you prove me otherwise. So I'm not gonna let that affect. Of course, if it's like dangerous, or you always do your research before you travel, before you go anywhere, do your research. So with all the countries that I visited so far, usually I do a little bit of research before I go there, because especially as a chocolate person and also as a woman, You have to make sure you're safe. But I understand like some of them, they do videos where they say, oh, based on my experience, like they frame it from their experience. Some people don't. Some people just generalize and say, yeah, don't go to this place because. So, like a couple months ago, I don't remember when it was, but a couple months ago, when the UN had that ruling on slavery, and there were a lot of countries that said no. I don't remember exactly. I need to look what the name of the thing was, like the ruling thing, like the heading that they voted on. But you had a lot of countries who said no, and then you had some countries who abstained, etc. Quickly, I saw videos like melanated people on online making videos like, oh, since this ruling, I've just updated my travel list. Like, this country is no longer in the list. This country is not. And I'm like, bruh, if you travel for the culture, you're not gonna let that stop you. If you really wanna go there to like discover some country's culture or language or whatever, why are you gonna let that stop you from going there? Okay, I get that they're all about like supporting like black countries, or like supporting black businesses, or supporting countries who support black people, which yes, by all means, go support. But for instance, like some of the countries, some of them are predominantly white countries. You have a lot of European countries on it, like EU, of course they voted no. Like, come on, you expected more from them. But when they were like, yeah, so I'm no longer going to this country because of the vote and this, live your life. Like, what the heck? Like, I've been to quite a few European countries, and thankfully, I've had, for the most part, really good experiences. Learned about the people's cultures and stuff. Like, I'm not going there to live. I just want to go see, discover, like learn. Like most of the countries I visit to, I go there because I have a genuine interest. Okay, some countries, no. Like for instance, when was it? Was it last year? Last year I went to Latvia. I had zero interest in Latvia. Like I didn't know much about Latvia, but this was kind of like like a chance to discover Latvia, right? And it was nice. It was a good trip. Yeah, it was like weird, but being in Europe, especially Eastern Europe, I expected not to see that many people of color. So it was weird, but it was expected. Because the entire time I was there, I saw like a handful. Like I can count how many people of color I saw. It was lone whiteness. But that was expected because Latvia, Eastern Europe, like come on. I wouldn't expect to be seeing a lot of colors. But it was a good experience. Like people were fine, people were okay. Like no one treated me weird. And if they did, to be honest, I wouldn't notice. Because being from the country I am from, sometimes when people are like racist, but like hidden racism, it's not as noticeable for me as for like a Black American. Of course, because of the Black American experiences, they see it more. Y'all know the whole history and everything. So they see things more. They, I would say, get offended more for certain things. Sometimes things that are not meant to be offensive, they would get offended more. Which, okay, fair. It's because of the history, everything that they've gone through and all that. But like, because of the country I'm from, if it's like hidden, if it's like subtle, if it's like micro racism, sometimes I don't really notice it, which is good because it doesn't affect me. Like, if it's not like in your face, sometimes I miss it. It goes over my head. But yeah, like some of the countries, like I see that people are like, yeah, don't go to that country if you're black, blah, 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 blah. Like one country sometimes that I see pop up is like China. They're like, yeah, don't go to China because this and that. I lived in China for like almost 3 years, and it was a good experience. Thankfully, like the city that I lived in, people were fine. Like I would say it's like split down the middle. It's either people are just really curious because they don't know, they've never met. And it's not just like a black person, it's like foreigner. Because even when I lived there, it took me a while. Well, no. For the first like few weeks, it's kind of weird, the staring, because they stare. Not everyone, but some people, they stare. So at first I thought it was like, is it because I'm chocolate colored? But then I asked some of my white friends, like, yo, do they do this for you? And they're like, yeah, no, it's not just you. They do that to me too. They stare and like they point and they're like, why go in, which is like foreigner. So split down the middle is either they're just curious, they haven't seen a foreigner up close in person. And then of course you do have the other hand where you do have some people who are racist. Every country, I would say every non-black country, this is a very big generalization, but the way how I look at it, like from a pessimistic point of view, every non-black country, from like face value, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna expect some kind of racism or discrimination. Not saying that it will happen, because not every country is racist. But if you want to spare yourself, like the disappointment, call it the disappointment. To me, it's not really disappointment. It's expected, like human nature, like history. We have a long history of this. So when people are racist, you shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, like, but I know, history. Check your history. Come on. Anyways, what was the point of this video? Live your life, travel, go to the countries you want to go to, do your research, make sure it's safe before you go there. But if you want to go there, you go there. Like some countries in Latin America, they're like, yeah, don't go to this country because just go. Do your research and go. European countries, of course, predominantly white, so expect racism. Doesn't mean there will be racism, doesn't mean there will be discrimination. But at least if you go there expecting it, if it doesn't happen, you can be like, okay, I guess I was wrong. But yeah. Anyways, I gotta go back to work. So I don't know if I'm gonna continue my little mini rant. Well, it's not really a rant, but hey. I don't know if I'm gonna continue after work or I'm just gonna leave the video where it is. If I don't continue, then thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Only if you want to, of course. Free will and all that. Catch you in the next video.